Well, ladies and gentlemen, here I am watching Misfits X Series 21. We're on the countdown show. I had the first fight, pro fight, Dylan Price's debut, being signed as a Misfits pro against this guy, Mancia. Now, obviously, I thought, first of all, I thought it was going to be a lot less rounds than it would be with it being Misfits, but it was 10 3-minute rounds. My prediction was Dylan Price early knockout with him being the new Misfits pro. I thought Misfits were going to help build him up as a pro. They brought this guy, he's 19-0, which I didn't realise he already had pro fights. I thought this was going to be the start of his pro career, being a young prospect. And they brought in this guy, Mancia, this Argentinian, who was 17-4 with 13 knockouts. So a respectable pro in his own right. And he's coming here, and the fight was closer than I thought it would be. Like, Dylan Price was winning the rounds with the better shots and the better speed, but he was still getting caught with jabs and, you know, wild shots from Mancia. And I thought Dylan Price, while he's good, he's not as impressive as I thought he would be. And then a miracle happens in the 8th round. Mancia throws this overhand that floors Dylan Price, puts him on his back, and he kind of get up to respond to the count. He gets up just at the count of 10, but ref calls it off. Mancia wins by 8th round knockout. I mean, I'm completely surprised. Did not see it coming one bit. I thought Dylan Price was going to win by early knockouts, but as the fight was going, I thought probably would get a decision for Dylan Price. Not a good Misfits pro debut. Losing your first pro fight, your 20th pro fight, and you've lost it by knockout when you've won every other fight, most of them by knockouts. That's a shame for Dylan Price. Maybe they'll run it back, but Mancia's the winner. I'm 0-1 in predictions in the first fight. That's crazy. But it is what it is. On to the next one. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, I have a prediction right. I predicted Amir Anderson would get it done in the early rounds. We have a 3rd round stoppage for Amir Anderson against this guy, Oliveira, whatever he's called. Like I said, this is where I got my idea of Dylan Price from, because Amir Anderson is a newly signed Misfits pro that they've been building up. He fought in Miami and beat the first guy. He fought in Qatar and beat the second guy. And now he's fought for the 3rd time, got 3-0, and they're going to keep elevating him and putting him against harder pros. I will say, this guy that put them against this time, I do not think was as good as his last opponent. It was better than the first one he fought, but not as good as the first opponent. The guy swung, but he had no technique, no power, and he just didn't stand a chance. He took a while to go down, though. I don't think he never actually went down. The ref just stopped it, so credit to that for his opponent. But in terms of skill, I don't think he was as good as his last opponent, but it's fine. They're still building him up. 1-1 in predictions. At least I got one right. I mean, here we are. Joey Knight wins over Andy Housen, like I said he would, but he didn't knock him out, he didn't stop him. It was a 5-round unanimous decision. Here's my problem with the fight. Joey did his usual thing of showboating and, just trying to show off, right? My problem was he could have stopped Andy Housen it every single round in that fight. Maybe not the first one, but absolutely every other round he could have stopped Andy Housen, and he didn't. He stood there and he danced and he jabbed, and he'd rather show off than actually stop Andy Housen. And I think it cost him in the last 2 rounds, to be honest, which is ironic because it's the exact opposite of what happened in his last fight. In his last fight with Cray, he kind of did nothing for 3 rounds, and then in the last 2 rounds came alive. He was so alive in the last 3, and then in the first 3, and then in the last 2, did nothing and let Andy kind of get something off on him. And I just thought, how stupid, like, you literally can't knock him out. The second he landed the first uppercut, Andy wobbled, like, Andy's chin is not there at all, and Joey definitely could have stopped him. I don't know why he didn't. There's far too much respect between Joey and Andy. Like, they showed respect the whole time, which is completely fine. That's what Darren Till and Darren Stewart are doing. People show respect. There doesn't have to be beef. The problem was they were touching gloves every 2 seconds of the fight, and Joey gave him way too much respect to the point that he didn't want to, he didn't want to hurt Andy Housen almost. And I just thought, how dumb, bro. Like, Joey, you're one of my favourite fighters on Misfits, and I saw you fight live, and it was the first time you lost, and I was devastated. But my God, you could have knocked Andy Housen out. I'm glad you got the win, but I expected better, I'll be honest. And I'm not a biased person. Maybe there's always a bit of bias in people, but like, it's anime. But sometimes we don't even realise it, right? And I'm happy Joey won, but I'm not happy with the performance. I'll just be blunt. Joey could have stopped him, and he should have. He should have. It doesn't matter how much respect you have for the man. Like, you should have stopped him. Let's be honest. But onto the Survivor tag next. I'm actually interested because it's a bunch of heavyweights and why not have a bit of fun, you know what I mean? So, plus it's Temple Arts plus a bunch of people, so there should be knockouts. Hopefully, last Survivor tag it was just a bunch of tag ins and no one was really hurt until the last 10 seconds, which is so dumb, so hope it works. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Survivor tag concluded. I predicted Temple Arts winning, and I predicted Temple Arts probably knocking out most of them, if not all of them. Temple Arts did win, but by decision. I mean, I wasn't quite sure on the rules set, but it turned out that after 3 rounds, one person will be eliminated who has the lowest score, and then after the 4th round, another person will be eliminated, and then the last round will be between 2 people. Big Torbs was the first one eliminated, which was fair. He was in there the least, landed the least shots. He got rocked by Tempo. And he got... Oh, we have Kells in the ring. He had to call out Tempo.
I got into the division, you left. We never really got to fight. So I know you think you've got a title shot now with Chase, but you got to go through me first. You got to go through me first, bro. Because that's just how it works, bro. No. You and me have a fight. Win against the face Chase. It's only right. No, listen.
Kells said Tempo has to go through him and get Chase. And Tempo says, I don't know. Tempo says he doesn't.
Listen. I'm not disputing the fact you've done amazing things here. I'm not disputing that. Listen, Tempo. I joined, you left, so you and me need to run it. And then I fight Chase.
But he was meant to be on this card, but you didn't fight on it. He was meant to be there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, 100%. What? Bro, I'm busy in Bali chilling, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm training. You think I just fight in Qatar and then come here and fight with you guys for the spot? I don't need to do that, bro. Come on, man.
I mean, while I get it, both men need a rematch with Chase, so they should fight for Chase. He can't say this to Tempo. Tempo deserves a shot at Chase way more. Tempo actually has a win over Chase.
You and me run it.
I'm at 8-0 now, so I'll be 3 people.
I hear what you're saying. You retired, you come back, it's a clean slate. We start from scratch. Listen, it's already decided, Tempo. You and me are fighting, bro. Is it a yes?
You was no.
Okay, it's already decided, G.
I can't like Kells, this is dumb. Why are we doing this?
Listen, I want a money fight. Whatever was money fight, I'm out there. I'm doing this for my kid now. I literally had 2 months until she's born. So I'm doing this for my kid. This is the reason I got back into boxing.
I didn't like the segment there. Misfits, man. Work on the segments. Get them more planned, man, because you can't just have someone like Kells jumping in the ring saying, no, we're fighting, mate, we're fighting. But no, you're not, because, yes, you both want a rematch with Chase, right? But Chase should be chasing Tempo, was chasing Tempo for the rematch, and Tempo was the champion, yeah? The only reason Chase has the belt is because Tempo relinquished it. I believe Kells beat Chase in that fight for the championship, and Kells and Chase should run it back. But if anything, Tempo was the former champ. He should get a shot back at his belt and have the rightful rematch with Chase and prove everyone wrong. We should have Tempo versus Chase, and then maybe Kells can rematch Chase, and if he wins, take on Tempo, right? But regardless, back to the Survivor tag. Big Torbs was the first one eliminated. He was in the least, got rocked by Tempo and Curtis Pritchard, which is laughable, to be honest. So he was out. By the end of the 4th round, Godson was out because he'd done the least. Curtis Pritchard was doing better than him, which is laughable. But I also just think the Survivor tag is... It's just not long enough. Like, 5 rounds isn't enough to have 4 people get in there and try and fight it out. It needs more rounds, and in the 3rd round, when they were trying to decide who to eliminate, it took way too long. We had at least 5-minute break in between the rounds. Way too long of a break. The fight also needs to be longer itself. I didn't back Survivor tag the first time it happened. I didn't like it. I was optimistic, but I didn't like it. Same's happened this time. I was really optimistic because it's heavyweights. They said to change the rules. While the rules were better, I'm still not backing it. It's still not good. The actual tag teams, the 2v2s, they're fine. They work. That can run because it's fair. It's 2v2. It's 1 team versus 1 team. So even if someone's tagging out, they're still getting a chance of winning and losing. Whereas that's not happening in Survivor tag. So I don't back it. I was right in my prediction. No, Tempo did win. So we've got that. Next is Jordan Banjo versus Will Anderson. Will Anderson from Newcastle, big up, but I'm picking Jordan Banjo. I feel like it's an obvious pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had Jordan Banjo versus Will Anderson, and I was right. Jordan Banjo with the win was the better man, and I can't remember if I said TKO or not, but he got a TKO in the 4th round. Here's my thing. First 2 rounds, okay, Jordan Banjo wasn't as good as I expected him to be, but then when I look at it, it's his first fight, so how good do I actually expect him to be? He was just very confident, let's be honest, and I thought his dancing and his dad being a boxing trainer or a boxer would translate very well, right? But first 2 rounds, very good. By the end of those first 2 rounds, both men were gassed. The ref gave Will Anderson a standing 8 very early in the fight, and it was an early standing 8, like, he literally, Jordan landed 1 good shot and ref gave him a standing 8, so that was unfair. And then in the 4th round, when it stopped, Jordan hit 2 good right overhands, and ref called a standing 8, but Will Anderson was very much on his feet. Yeah, he was up against the ropes, but they weren't holding him up, you know, he was just, you know, taking the impact of the shot. That was an early standing 8, and then once the ref let them fight, Jordan landed quite a few more shots, and the ref called it off, which when you look at the replay, Jordan landed those 2 shots, and Will still had his guard up and was still very much in the fight. He was just tired. I feel like the referee did that very prematurely. It sucks for Will Anderson, but regardless, Jordan was still winning the fight on the points anyways. Just Will Anderson didn't deserve that stoppage. It should have been a decision for me. Or should let it go the last 50 seconds and see what would have happened. And you know what? The early standing 8s prevented something that could have been a knockout or a TKO. So that ref sucks. Regardless, the winner regardless of the result and how it ended, Jordan Banjo was the right winner. So there we go. Wow, I mean, that was something. Wakey Wines versus Modine. I'm glad Wakey Wines got the win. I'm glad he did. This is Modine's 2nd time being in the ring. Obviously, he doesn't take a fucking thing seriously. I do think he is a character and he is serious a bit behind the scenes, because you can see on the back where he's tried to recover. He's used recovery, so he must have trained somehow, but like, it doesn't show. My guy doesn't throw. But Wakey Wines won, bless him. I mean, he actually like wanted to fight. He wanted to achieve something here, and he did. So I back that. Modine, there's just no excuse. The guy's younger. He's I think he's younger anyway. And he just takes this for a joke. Wakey Wines took this as a challenge, and I actually respect him for it. You know, I don't think there's a fight I predicted wrong apart from the Dylan Price one, but who could have saw that coming? I mean, he was literally winning and then he just got knocked out of nowhere, so it is what it is. I think next we get Foxer G, Wally Chalks, which is absolutely amazing because I'm buzzing for that fight, so let's go. Wow, Foxer G versus Wally Chalks. I mean, Foxer G got the win. That was my prediction because I was backing him. But fuck me, this shows how much power Dean the Great actually has, because I have never seen someone swing and hit. He wasn't just swinging, hitting as well, as hard as Foxer G was hitting Wally Chalks. And Wally Chalks was giving it back a bit, but Foxer G dominated all 3 rounds, outlanded every time, and threw these massive haymakers that were landing clean, rocking the jaw of Wally Chalks, spinning my man's head, knocking it, rocking it, all over the shop. And Waleed was not even getting wobbled, he wasn't even going down. And the fact that Dean the Grey just threw a 1 overhand after Waleed had dropped him like 3 times in their first fight, and it put out Waleed, is crazy. I mean, it just shows the power of Dean the Grey, and which is crazy because looking at the fight, it looks as if Fox is more powerful. Maybe Waleed had more durability on this night, but that is crazy. Fox the G has got to fight Dean the Great. He's literally one of the best in the lightweight division. I think the lightweight division is the best division in Misfits. I mean, you've got Dean the Great, you've got Lil Cray Cray, you've got Yuri Gang, you've got Waleed, you've got Fox, you've got Joey Knight. I mean, all them, all very skilled and can all cause a knockout, apart from Yuri and Cray Cray, but they're ridiculously skilled. Like, it's crazy. Like, all respects to Fox. That is fucking incredible. Next is Chase versus Tank Tolman. Can't be asked for another Chase Demo type fight, because my god, my guy just clinches, so I guess we're gonna have to put up with it. And that was Chase Demo, Tank Tolman. It wasn't as boring as I thought. In fact, it was quite exciting. First round was first round. Chase was getting the shots off. Tank wasn't really getting anything. Then in the second round, Tank Tolman comes with a massive overhand, and he drops Chase. Like, it's not even like a fall or not, like, he drops him. Chase gets up, gets back in the fight, and then drops Tank back. he actually hit someone with like I think it was more backhand or it was just a straight right come back off the ropes and it caught. Tank put him down, and then in this third round, Chase started lighting up more and more shots, and eventually put Tank down proper good to the point where Tank didn't make the 10 count. He didn't make the 10 count. So that sucks for Tank because he actually dropped Chase, the first man to drop Chase, and he gave it a good effort. The problem with Chase is he's such a big guy is that it's sometimes hard to hurt him. Not that Chase is really that good, but I think Chase has proved something today, and I like the performance. It was way better than with Kells. Yeah, respects the Tank tournament, but chased him over with another win, and now he has a knockout. I guess now he's a credible heavyweight champion when we both know Tempo can beat him, and we both know Kells can beat him. So those fights need to happen again, let's be honest. But next will be the pros, the big boys, the Idris Virgo, TankNiplz, and the Darren Till, Darren Stewart, which I'm massively excited for. Ladies and gentlemen, TankNiplz just TKO'd Idris Virgo by the end of the third. I mean, Ty was winning the first and second rounds quite convincingly, but it just never really looked hurt. And then in the third round, literally towards the end, he wobbled Idris and he just went after him. Ref separated them, said, okay, fight. He heard the 10-second warning and he went in. And Idris was getting wobbled and he was fine. And then he hit the ropes and he started flopping and going down, and ref just waved it straight off. Didn't even bother giving him a count, just waved it straight off. I feel like he probably could have give Idris a count and let Idris continue on. I mean, Idris looks a bit fed up with the decision, but I mean, it was fair. He looked hurt, but nah, do you know what? Nah, maybe he could have done with the count. It's that same ref that did the early stoppage for Will Anderson. It's the same ref. He just early stops people like that. He's like, nah, you're done, mate. So maybe they'll probably run that back. But I mean, TankNiplz did very well. Just, you know, he just stopped Idris Virgo. I mean, we're looking at a replay now. Idris hurt. Okay, lands that. He's fine. Okay, he's still fine. Bang. Gets hit there. Put on the ropes. Yeah, no, ref waved that off way too quickly. You should have given him a count at least, I think. Definitely should have given him a count. But regardless, TankNiplz is now the winner. I have no doubt that TankNiplz probably would have won the rest of that fight, even though it was only 3 out of 8. But fair play. I definitely think a rematch is in place for this, though. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an insane fight. I mean, from what we knew about Stewart as a striker, and the first round, we did not think Stewart was going to win this. We thought Darren Till would make easy work. I mean, Darren Till dropped Darren Stewart in the first round, and from there, it was completely competitive. He got dropped and Darren Stewart turned on. And for rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Stewart was putting the pressure on Till, and Till was still probably outlanding him and landing the better significant strikes, but Stewart had the pressure and was landing just as much. And maybe some would say he won the fight, but literally in the last 2 seconds of the last round, round 8, Darren Till lands the cleanest. You know, Darren Stewart goes flying into the ropes, right? He comes out the ropes. Darren Till lands the cleanest straight left you've ever seen, the cleanest one, and it drops Darren Stewart the millisecond before the bell rings. And obviously the fight's ended, everyone's coming in the ring, but Stewart's still getting his count because he dropped before the bell. So that might have won Till the fight. Otherwise, Darren Stewart impressed everyone. What a fucking main event. What a fight. That was fight of the night. Fight of the night. Fight me over it. That was beautiful. Honestly, if Darren Stewart gets the win, congratulations to him. He's crying because he fought fucking so well, but I just think the 2 drops and the strikes landed from Till, it's still a Till win in my opinion. But we're about to get the decision, so you'll find out live reaction from me. Let's go. Come on ref, come on announcer, let's get this done with. Imagine Darren Stewart picks up the upset. I mean, that would be crazy. After 2 drops now, I don't know, because it was close the whole fight, and getting dropped twice, I think just defines it as Till's win, really. So let's go. Let's see what the scorecards are. They're probably going to be close as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecard.
Okay.
Both judges, Lachin Ongar and Bayescalan Sandag, scored the bout 77 to 74.
Okay.
And Judge George Milkey scores the bout 77 to 73.
Okay.
And your winner by unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision win.
Still undefeated.
Darren Till.
The Gorilla.
Darren Schuart's devastated because he tried so hard and he was probably this close to the win. Probably this close. And he got dropped at the last second. And do you know what it is? It's ironic because the song that played when the fight ended was the Linkin Park song, you know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. You know, and that's literally the story of Darren Schuart tonight. Tried so hard and got so far, did so much, and it just in the end didn't matter because he got dropped right at the end and it cost him the fight. Such a shame, man. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.